This strange deity had yet to take form and did not have intelligence. Could he take it for himself? No! If it was that easy, why didn't the sages do it? Hanju cautiously used the derivation function and asked in his heart, if I subdue the strange deity, will I be in danger? 2 billion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. Not for the time being. These words appeared in front of Hanju. If I subdue the strange deity, will it involve the karma of anyone other than the strange deity? 2 billion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. Was this worth spending his life? Hanju's heart started to bleed. However, the more this was the case, the more cautious he had to be. After all, he had a long lifespan. No other karma is involved for the time being. Hanju heaved a sigh of relief. He began the simulation trial, detected the strange deity, and fought with it. A second later, Hanju opened his eyes. He had an awkward expression on his face. The strange deity had no combat ability at all and was insta-killed by him. He could tame it. After Hanju detected the strange deity's location, he directly used his divine sense to suck it into the cave abode. It was a ball of black aura. It was tall and floated in front of Hanju. It was extremely strange. The moment it entered, the temperature in the cave abode plummeted. The resurrection lilies withered rapidly. Shocked, Hanju hurriedly used the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus to suppress the strange deity, preventing all the resurrection lilies that had been nurtured for thousands of years from dying. Immediately after, Hanju discovered that the strange deity was like him, able to absorb negative karma. Amazing! Hanju began to look forward to its talent after transforming. However, before that, Hanju had to use the 6 Paths insignia to control it. The current strange deity didn't have intelligence. It didn't resist Hanju's 6 Paths insignia at all. Why didn't anyone else discover the strange deity? Hanju thought in surprise. No one has captured the existence of a strange deity. So powerful? The system was still the best. Hanju thought silently. He suddenly thought of something and called Dao Comprehension Sword in. The strange deity was between the two of them, with the evil light of the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus shining on it. Dao Comprehension Sword replied, "Your lotus throne is glowing? What else?" "Nothing." Dao Comprehension Sword looked confused, not understanding what he was asking. Hanju chased her out and let the others in one after another. Soon, he learned something. Apart from him, no one could see the strange deity or sense its aura. To the people of the hidden sect, the strange deity did not seem to exist. Even immortal emperors couldn't capture its existence. That was impressive. Hanju touched his chin and thought, is it because of my stellar primordial body or the system? The system is only a support, not a mystical power. You're even more impressive than mystical powers. Hanju cursed silently. In other words, it was because his identity as the primordial fiend celestial was higher than the strange deity. But then again, what kind of existence was the system? Hanju asked in his heart, is the system stronger than the Dao ancestor? The power of the system is based on your growth. The stronger you are, the stronger the system is. The current system can't resist the power of the Dao ancestor. Hanju was even more curious. Could the system be formed by some great Dao? If the system did not answer, he would not know. If he wanted to know the truth about the system, he had to become stronger. Hanju focused on the strange deity again. 10 years later, Hanju's 6 Paths insignia was completely imprinted in the depths of the strange deity and couldn't be erased. He continued cultivating. As for the strange deity, it was wrapped in his divine origin dermic powers. It was as if it was wearing a layer of clothes and would no longer affect the resurrection lily. At first, the strange deity did not wander. As time passed, it began to take action. First, it floated slowly and approached Hanju. Then, it looked at the nine heavens galaxy water and became more and more like a curious baby. In the blink of an eye, another 40 years passed. Hanju was already close to the sixth mystic divine origin. It had been more than 200 years since his last breakthrough. He had always maintained a good speed. After reaching the sixth mystic divine origin, he wouldn't be far from the zenith heaven realm. Hanju was very excited. The strange deity seemed to sense his emotions and couldn't help but approach and rub his back. Hanju was amused. This fellow was massaging him? It was quite comfortable. Massage? Hanju felt that he could nurture it and let the strange deity develop in this direction. He could still serve him while cultivating in the future. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that it was feasible. At this moment, Hanju felt that someone in the chaotic domain was summoning him. Other than Tao Sovereign, who else could it be? Hanju shook his head helplessly and sent his consciousness into the chaotic domain. After arriving in the chaotic domain, Hanju was shocked to discover that the strange deity had followed him. ERM. It was also equivalent to the chaotic physique? No! This fellow's physique was higher than the chaotic physique, so it could enter the chaotic domain. Hanju was curious if Tao Sovereign and Zhao Shenyuan could see it. Tao Sovereign and Zhao Shenyuan were both here. When they saw Hanju, they immediately surrounded him. Thank you for your help, fellow Taoist. Zhao Shenyuan was the first to speak. His tone was very excited. Hanju was alerted. How long ago have you been saved? Why are you acting like you just got saved? There was definitely a trap. Tao Sovereign coughed and said, I owe you another favor. With your cautious personality, it seems that I will never be able to repay you. Hanju smiled and said, how can that be? Come and be my disciple. Tao Sovereign fell silent. He could accept being a subordinate of the heavenly court, but if he was a subordinate of Hanju, wouldn't he be a generation younger? He saw Hanju as his opponent. Seeing that this fellow didn't reply, Hanju couldn't help but develop 2 stars of hatred towards him. Useless. Zhao Shenyuan said, fellow Taoist, Senior Li Daokong wants to see you. Are you free? Hanju said, then, invite him in. Zhao Shenyuan. Tao Sovereign couldn't help but laugh. How can he be qualified to enter the chaotic domain? Although he couldn't defeat Li Daokong, he had the right to look down on him in terms of talent. Hanju smiled secretly. No wonder you were severely injured by Li Daokong. You really know how to talk. You're looking for me for this? Hanju asked and couldn't help but ponder. These two really couldn't see the strange deity. The strange deity had the potential to be an assassin. If no one could see it, wouldn't it be able to do whatever it wanted? The Dark Forbidden Lord paired with the strange deity was a perfect match, right? The more Hanju thought about it, the more excited he became. This is the first time your grand disciple, Heavenly Emperor Fang, has held a Heavenly Peach Banquet. Aren't you coming to help? Tao Sovereign asked. Hanju said, I'm not going. Why? I'll definitely be beaten up if I go. If nothing happened during this Heavenly Peach Banquet, Hanju would write his name backwards. Tao Sovereign said helplessly, you're definitely at the deity realm now. What are you afraid of? If the 3 of us join forces, who below the Zenith Heaven realm is our match? He wanted to form a team again. Hanju couldn't help but think of how Zhou Fan and Mo Fuzhou were so naive a long time ago. This was especially the case for Tao Sovereign. He used to think that he was quite cold, but now, why was he chasing after him like a cowhide? Crazy! Hanju prepared to leave. Tao Sovereign suddenly asked, if you defeat me, I'll join you. Hanju glanced at him and said, if you can find me, you win. With that, he left with the strange deity. After returning to reality, Hanju let the strange deity stay aside and continued cultivating. Next was to break through to the 6th mystic divine origin realm. After that was the Zenith Heaven realm. 20 years later, Hanju finally had a chance to break through. He adjusted his emotions and checked his emails to understand the recent commotion. Your good friend Zhou Fan has grasped the true sun flame and has transformed into a heavenly Tao divine spirit. Your good friend Ji Xianshen was attacked by demons, X14009. Your good friend Huang Zuntian was attacked by your good friend Di Lantian and was severely injured. Your Tao companion Xian Qingjun obtained a supreme treasure by chance. Her providence has increased greatly. Your good friend Li Daokong was attacked by a mysterious mighty figure and was severely injured. Your good friend Heavenly Emperor was attacked by your good friend Li Daokong and was severely injured. Your good friend Divine General was attacked by a mysterious mighty figure and died. Heavenly Tao Divine Spirit? So impressive! As expected of a sage, Hanju had a feeling that Zhou Fan would become a dark horse in this immeasurable calamity. This was the first time Li Daokong was severely injured. He was even attacked by the Heavenly Emperor and a mysterious mighty figure. The Divine General had actually perished. Hanju seriously suspected that the mysterious mighty figure who had severely injured Li Daokong was the same person who had killed the Divine General. Looking at the email about the Divine General's death, Hanju sighed. The Divine General was the Heavenly General who had worked the hardest for the Heavenly Court. He was always at the front. Hanju asked in his heart, who is the mysterious mighty figure who killed the Divine General and severely injured Li Daokong? 3 billion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. Hanju felt that this might threaten him. He had to calculate. Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. A name appeared in front of him. Below was the introduction of Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. It was the same as what he had seen before. It was indeed this fellow. Hanju asked, does Jade Emperor Zhou Yan have any intention of harming the Heavenly Emperor? 1 billion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. Yes. Hanju frowned. No. He had to eliminate this fellow. Li Daokong was severely injured. Jade Emperor Zhou Yan's next target might be Fang Liang. Furthermore, this fellow wanted to slaughter all living beings and create his own heavenly Tao world. He couldn't let him succeed. He had to break through first. Hanju immediately started to break through. About 4 years later, he successfully broke through. 6 Mystic Divine Origin. Hanju's dermic powers transformed and he reached perfection. As he consolidated his cultivation, he checked his attributes panel. Name, Hanju. Race, Primordial Fiend Celestial. Cultivation, 6 Mystic Divine Origin. Technique, Primordial Chaos Reincarnation Great Tao, Heavenly Cycle Body Tempering. Great Tao of Life and Death, Great Tao of Karma. 999 quadrillion years. Who else can match me? His chapter is up at D by NOV, E, L, Bayan Ko M. Hanju felt proud. Next was to break through to the Zenith Heaven realm. 5 years later, Hanju's cultivation had completely consolidated. He wasn't in a hurry to increase his mystical power. Instead, he visited the Heavenly Emperor in his dreams. After entering the dream, Hanju saw the Heavenly Emperor and discovered that his hair was messy and his dragon robe was tattered as if he was a prisoner. Hanju asked, "What's wrong with you?" Seeing the Dark Forbidden Lord appear, the Heavenly Emperor's eyes lit up. He said, "You guessed that he had the intention to rebel against the Tao Ancestor?" Hanju said, "That's right. Otherwise, why didn't he help you subdue the chaos of the Heavenly Tao?" The Heavenly Emperor sighed. Clearly, the reason why he was in such a sorry state was because of Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. At this moment, a figure appeared beside the Heavenly Emperor. His figure was gray and like Hanju, and his true appearance couldn't be seen. Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. Hanju instantly guessed the other party's identity and was secretly shocked. How could this fellow enter his dark nightmare? Could it be that Jade Emperor Zhou Yan had already controlled the Heavenly Emperor? Are you the Dark Forbidden Lord? Jade Emperor Zhou Yan asked with a calm tone. Hanju didn't reply. Jade Emperor Zhou Yan ignored the Heavenly Emperor and stared at him. Join forces with me. In the future, I'll be the Dao Ancestor and you will be the Heavenly Emperor. Hanju felt that he was too arrogant. Did he really think that the Dao Ancestor was already gone? Somehow, the Dao Ancestor might have developed 2 stars of hatred towards Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. Hanju pretended to sneer. On what basis? Jade Emperor Zhou Yan said, if you refuse, you will be my enemy. Actually, I also want to fight with someone. No one in this world has the right to resist me. Too arrogant. How could Hanju tolerate him? He asked, how are you going to deal with the Heavenly Emperor? Do you care about him? No, I care about Li Daokong. You injured him. I won't let this go. Li Daokong is not dead, but he will die in my hands sooner or later. As for the Heavenly Emperor, I still have a use for him. The two of them seemed to be old friends as they chatted casually. The Heavenly Emperor stood at the side and did not say a word. Soon, Hanju and Jade Emperor Zhou Yan fell silent. The two of them stared at each other. Hanju suddenly left the dark nightmare. Jade Emperor Zhou Yan has developed hatred towards you. Current hatred points, 3 stars. Great! Hanju directly took out the Book of Misfortune. Since the other party had already seen the Dark Forbidden Lord, Hanju didn't wait anymore. He suddenly thought of something and asked cautiously, has Jade Emperor Zhou Yan seen through my true identity? No! This time, his lifespan was not deducted. Hanju heaved a sigh of relief and started cursing Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. He would spend 30 billion years playing with this fellow. Hanju was no longer the same as before. Using 30 billion years of his lifespan at once should not be the limit. 5 days later, Hanju's lifespan started to decrease. He opened his attributes panel and stared at it carefully. His lifespan had decreased much faster than before because the strength of his curse had also increased. Facing Jade Emperor Zhou Yan, he had to give it his all. 5 billion years. 10 billion years. 20 billion years. 30 billion years. 40 billion years. Hanju had no choice but to stop. His face was covered in blood and his soul was dizzy. He couldn't take it anymore. He checked his emails and did not see any emails about Jade Emperor Zhou Yan being cursed. He was secretly depressed. This fellow was really stubborn. In the dark universe, above the sea of clouds, there was a crooked tree. Under the tree, a person was meditating. It was Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. He slowly opened his eyes and frowned. He muttered, I underestimated you. No wonder those zenith heavens were forced to death by you. He began to circulate his energy to heal his injuries. Facing the terrifying curse of the Dark Forbidden Lord, he almost lost his balance. Fortunately, his mystical powers were impressive and his dermic powers were boundless. Jade Emperor Zhou Yan became even warier of the Dark Forbidden Lord. Was the curse the Dark Forbidden Lord's full strength? Apart from sages, this was the first time he encountered an existence that he couldn't deduce. Seeing this notification, Hanju's depression vanished. If not for the fact that it affected Jade Emperor Zhou Yan, how could it increase hatred? If 40 billion years of lifespan didn't even ruin the other party's mood, wouldn't that be a huge loss? Hanju adjusted his state of mind. He was hiding in the Dark Forbidden Zone now. Jade Emperor Zhou Yan shouldn't be able to find him. However, he couldn't expose his identity to prevent Jade Emperor Zhou Yan from using his friends to threaten him. Several days later, Hanju recovered. He began to improve his mystical power and let his strength reach its current limit. A year later, Hanju started the simulation trial and fought Li Xianao. Instant kill! He could kill Li Daokong in 10 breaths. He could kill the Heavenly Emperor in an hour. CHCK for EWSD Rise on No VL Bin. CLM he could kill Xuan Mingyi in 5 minutes. Hanju challenged all the listeners in the Great Ultimate Hall. No one in the deity realm was his match. Some weaker Zenith heavens were also killed by him. Zenith Heaven Mystical Power, Stellar Primordial Body, 36th Grade Reincarnation World Destruction Black Lotus. This was the reason why Hanju could cross realms to kill enemies. The difference between the 6 Mystic Divine Origin and the 5 Mystic Divine Origin was extremely great. Not only were there a lot of Dharmic powers, but it was also the essence of Dharmic powers. Hanju had already vaguely come into contact with the Zenith Heaven realm. This realm comprehended the Great Tao. Although the 12 ancestral magi did not have an essence soul, their bodies cultivated a Great Tao origins. They could still reach the Zenith Heaven realm or even higher. Hanju prepared to comprehend the Great Tao of life and death and break through to the Zenith Heaven realm. It was only because Ancestor Shitian had taught him the Great Tao of karma. If Ancestor Shitian developed ill intentions in the future, wouldn't he become his puppet by cultivating this Great Tao? Wait, why can't I create a brand new Great Tao? Hanju suddenly had a bold thought. However, he quickly abandoned this thought. He couldn't rely on himself unless he gathered all 9 Great Tao fragments. Currently, he had only accumulated 1. Who knew how long it would take him to accumulate 9 Great Tao fragments? 6,000 years old and the Zenith Heaven realm should be enough for 1 fragment. Hanju thought silently. Before that, he still had to rely on the Great Tao of life and death. Just like that, Hanju began to comprehend the Great Tao of life and death and rushed to the Zenith Heaven realm. While he was in seclusion, the immortal world was in chaos. The former Heavenly Emperor, Jade Emperor Zhou Yan, had appeared. He directly suppressed the Heavenly Court and controlled the 9 heavens. He personally appeared to suppress the various factions. Dragon Court, defeated. The True Dragon race was defeated. Darkness Sect, defeated. The Qilin race was defeated. The human race's sacred dynasty was defeated. Everyone was in an uproar. Jade Emperor Zhou Yan used his supreme Dharmic powers to bring despair to all living beings. In the broken Heavenly Emperor Palace, Fang Liang sat on a mat. 2 figures knelt in front of him. They were the Heavenly God General and the Martial God General. Fang Liang stared at them faintly and said, "You still acknowledge me as the Heavenly Emperor?" The Martial God General said in a low voice, "His Majesty is the Heavenly Emperor. You were personally chosen by the previous Heavenly Emperor. It's truly orthodox." The Heavenly God General added, "You're the Heavenly Emperor." Fang Liang looked at them and sighed. His heart sank at the thought of the Divine General. "I'm already Jade Emperor Zhou Yan's prisoner. Only you can look at me." Fang Liang smiled bitterly. He had yet to become the Heavenly Emperor when he was suppressed. He was filled with unwillingness. The Martial God General said in a low voice, "Jade Emperor Zhou Yan is too much. He's humiliating the Heavenly Court." The Heavenly God General was expressionless and did not reply. Fang Liang took a deep breath and said, "I need you to do something." The Martial God General asked, "What is it?" "Go to Kunlun and inform the sages of the Heavenly Court's situation." "All right." The Martial God General agreed. In a dark cave, Xuemingdi was nailed to the ground by the 7 white jade swords and could not move. Countless members of the Darkness Sect gathered in the distance. Duan Hongchen, Xian Qingjun, and Mo Fuzhou were among them. Everyone looked at a figure. That person was surrounded by clouds, and he was sitting on a dragon throne. His posture was arrogant and his eyes were disdainful. His black robe fluttered slightly. It was Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. Jade Emperor Zhou Yan frowned. He had deduced for a long time but still had not deduced the relationship between Xuemingdi and the Dark Forbidden Lord. Who is the Dark Forbidden Lord? Jade Emperor Zhou Yan's gaze landed on Xuemingdi. Xuemingdi gritted his teeth, his eyes filled with fear. Although he worshipped the Dark Forbidden Lord, he was even more afraid of death. He said in a low voice, "I really don't know where the Dark Forbidden Lord is." Jade Emperor Zhou Yan said, "Do you want alive?" "Yes." "Tell your disciples to curse the humans." "What?" Xue Mingdi was shocked. The human race was the protagonist of the heavenly Tao. It was fine to curse some people, but cursing the entire human race was courting death. Jade Emperor Zhou Yan's eyes turned cold. The temperature in the cave decreased to a freezing point, causing everyone to shiver. Xue Mingdi could only force himself to agree. Jade Emperor Zhou Yan dissipated in the air, leaving behind a light sentence. There are 3,000 great Tao, but only a chance of survival. It depends on whether you can grasp it. The 7 white jade swords on Xue Mingdi's body vanished. He cursed silently. Bastard, if not for the fact that I can't defeat you. He could only pray that the Dark Forbidden Lord would avenge him. 19 years had passed since he began comprehending the great Tao of life and death. Hanju was still immersed in comprehending the Tao when he was suddenly interrupted by a system notification. Detected that Jade Emperor Zhou Yan wants to forcefully advance the calamity and harm the heavenly Tao's providence. You have the following choices. 1. Immediately ascend and say that you want to compete with Jade Emperor Zhou Yan to bring hope to all living beings. You can obtain a great Tao fragment, a mystical power inheritance, a chance to upgrade the Tao field, a supreme treasure inheritance, a random natural treasure, and a heavenly Tao spirit stone. 2. Continue cultivating and stay away from trouble. You can obtain a great Tao fragment and a heavenly Tao spirit stone. Hanju cursed silently. This option was completely demonic. However, how could he dare to compete with Jade Emperor Zhou Yan? Wasn't that courting death? Hanju could only choose the second option. It wasn't a loss. It was what he needed, anyway. You chose to continue cultivating and obtained a great Tao fragment and a heavenly Tao spirit stone. Hanju placed the strange deity into the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus, then took out the Book of Misfortune and the heavenly Tao spirit stone. As long as he was cursing, he would imprison the strange deity, just in case. Since you're so arrogant, I'll fight you. Hanju thought to himself that he was going to be the savior again and no one would know his contributions. It was really lonely. Hanju began to fuse the two treasures. The Book of Misfortune was a deity realm supreme treasure before. After raising it, it could reach the zenith heaven realm no matter what. At that time, the curse power would increase by leaps and bounds. Hanju was looking forward to it. He checked his emails as he fused. Your grand disciple Fang Liang was attacked by your enemy Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. He was severely injured. Your good friend Xue Mingdi was attacked by your enemy Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. He was severely injured. Your good friend Dilan Tian was attacked by your enemy Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. He was severely injured. Your disciple Long Hao was attacked by your enemy Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. He was severely injured. Your good friend Immortal Emperor Samsara was attacked by your enemy Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. He was severely injured. Hanju frowned as he read. Was this how this fellow planned to advance the calamity? Hanju was fighting with a sage. It had to be said. How exciting! The Tao field could now block the prying of sages. Why was Hanju afraid? He didn't want to fight Jade Emperor Zhou Yan face to face. However, the most important thing now was to reach the Zenith Heaven realm first. Myriad worlds, all living beings of the heavenly Tao, wait for me to break through. Hanju thought heroically as he continued to comprehend the great Tao of life and death. Outside the immortal world, on an island, Li Daokong sat under a tree, meditating. He circulated his energy to heal his injuries. Beside him stood two figures. They were Li Xianao and Huang Jihao. Huang Jihao looked at Li Daokong's pale face and was secretly shocked. This was the first time he had seen Li Daokong injured. Previously, in his heart, Li Daokong was an invincible existence. Even his master, Li Xianao, was firmly suppressed by the former. Li Xianao asked, Senior, are you returning to Kunlun? Li Daokong didn't even look up. Why? Li Xianao frowned and said, the heavenly court is being controlled by Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. There's no need to support it anymore. This is not for the heavenly court, but for the human school. What do you mean? Do you still want to fight with Jade Emperor Zhou Yan? He's a pseudo-sage. How long have you been in the Zenith Heaven realm? Why not? But, if not for him manipulating the Heavenly Emperor to ambush me, how could I have lost? CHCK for EWSD Rise on No VL Bin. CLM Li Daokong opened his eyes. His gaze became unprecedentedly sharp. Li Xianao hesitated. Li Daokong glanced at him and said, I know what you want to say. I also know that it's the immeasurable calamity now. If I'm not careful, my body and soul will be destroyed. I'll be doomed forever. But I want to fight. Who does Jade Emperor Zhou Yan think he is? Li Xianao said helplessly, Senior brother, put away your arrogance. We're really not Jade Emperor Zhou Yan's match. Li Daokong closed his eyes again and said, Junior, do you know the greatest difference between us? What's the difference? You do what you know you can do, but I do what I know I cannot do. Li Xianao frowned and said, Am I not as good as you? Li Daokong didn't say anything else. Li Xianao glared at Huang Jihao and asked, Disciple, what do you think? Huang Jihao secretly complained. Although he admired Li Daokong's heroism, he didn't feel that Li Xianao's path was bad. He had seen people more cautious than Li Xianao. He even felt that Li Xianao was not worthy of Li Daokong's evaluation. Huang Jihao organized his words. Everyone has their own strengths. Li Xianao snorted unhappily. He turned to look at Li Daokong and frowned. A look of worry flashed across his eyes. He knew that he couldn't persuade his senior brother. Ever since he was young, no one had been able to change Li Daokong's will, not even their master, a sage. At this moment, Li Xianao was a little dazed. He suddenly understood why Li Daokong was the eldest disciple and why he always walked ahead of him. He couldn't help but be confused. Was he wrong? Another 20 years passed. Hanju stopped comprehending the Tao and took out the Book of Misfortune to curse Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. He had to curse him every 5 years to prevent him from successfully slaughtering the world. Your good friend Li Daokong was attacked by your enemy Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. Your good friend Zhou Fan has fused with the blood of the Golden Crow ancestor and obtained the Golden Crow Dharma idol. He has obtained the providence of the Golden Crow divine clan. Your grand disciple Fang Liang's soul has transcended into the primordial era. Your good friend Li Daokong was attacked by your enemy Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. Your good friend Pen Xin has awakened a mystical power. His providence has increased greatly. Your good friend Li Daokong has obtained a supreme treasure. His providence has increased greatly. Your good friend Li Daokong was attacked by your enemy Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. Your good friend Li Daokong was attacked by a mysterious mighty figure, X13. Your good friend Li Daokong was severely injured. Fortunately, a sage made a move and his soul escaped. Hanju was secretly shocked. Li Daokong had entered the calamity. He couldn't defeat Jade Emperor Zhou Yan but still fought so crazily? Of course, there was another possibility. He was being chased by Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. Hanju also noticed that Fang Liang's soul had passed through the primordial era again. What did this kid do every time he went back? Hanju didn't think further. He would curse Jade Emperor Zhou Yan first. He would directly offer 20 billion years of lifespan. Be polite. Half a month later, Hanju put down the Book of Misfortune and asked in his heart, I want to know what Fang Liang's soul did in the past. 10 billion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? 10 billion years? So much? What was this fellow plotting? Hanju was shocked. He had to continue. Continue. Too much karma is involved and cannot be deduced in one attempt. The price of lifespan you paid will be refunded. Can't deduce? Hanju had to change his method. Will Fang Liang's soul transmigrating into the primordial era harm me? 3 billion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. It won't harm you. Hanju heaved a sigh of relief. He had to be cautious. Although Fang Liang's favorability towards him had not decreased, after so many years, there was no knowing what others were thinking. He had to be careful. Hanju stopped deducing and focused on breaking through. Relying on the stellar primordial body and the Great Tao cultivation technique, the primordial chaos reincarnation Great Tao, Hanju's comprehension speed was very fast. He estimated that he wasn't far from reaching the Zenith Heaven realm. Without reaching this realm, he would never have the right to compete with Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. Immortal world, human race. In a vast arena, countless human cultivators gathered. Xing Hongxian was among them. She was surrounded by female cultivators with extraordinary auras. All the cultivators looked up at the sky. A huge painting hung upside down above the sea of clouds. The painting depicted a mountain and river. It was vivid, and there were all sorts of immortal birds flying past. It was like a paradise. Children of the human race, the immortal world is facing a calamity and all living beings are in danger. How can we cultivators stay on the ground? We should fight in the sky and save the trapped immortals. An ancient voice sounded, causing the blood of most human cultivators to boil. Xing Hongxian frowned. Something was wrong. Were they courting death again? She had also heard of what had happened to the heavenly court. The primordial heavenly emperor had appeared out of nowhere. Even the immortals had been suppressed. How could the humans resist the powerful primordial heavenly emperor? Previously, they had been enemies with the heavenly court, but now, they wanted to save them. Xing Hongxian couldn't understand what the human leaders were thinking. She had to think of a way to avoid this. 20 years later, Hanju succeeded in comprehending the Tao and began to fuse with the great Tao of life and death. He imprinted it in his dermic powers and made his dermic powers transform and his soul sublimate. When everything he had fused with the great Tao, he would condense a Zenith Heaven Tao fruit and become a Zenith Heaven cultivator. According to the notification of the primordial chaos reincarnation Great Tao, the Zenith Heaven realm stood above the laws of the heavens. It pierced through space and time, invincible and indestructible. The tribulation here referred to the heavenly tribulation. If he encountered an even stronger existence, that would be fate. Detected that a mysterious existence is influencing your fate. Do you want to resist? Hanju was stunned. He subconsciously wanted to choose yes. But on second thought, he asked, is it good or bad? Uncertain for now. Resist. Hanju immediately made his choice. Defended successfully. Hanju heaved a sigh of relief when he saw the 2 lines of words. Although he didn't know if the other party had good intentions or ill intentions, it was better to resist just in case. Hanju was quite satisfied with his current situation and did not want to change it. Who's affecting my fate? Hanju asked in his heart. If it was an enemy, he would be dead. 2 billion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. A figure appeared in Hanju's mind. It was Fang Liang. Hanju frowned. He could only see Fang Liang's appearance and didn't know what he had done. The system couldn't detect if Fang Liang had good intentions. Could it be that he was plotting in the primordial era? Hanju remembered that his soul had passed through the primordial era and had yet to return. Very likely. Hanju asked in another way, is Fang Liang harming me? 1 billion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. Not for the time being. Hanju heaved a sigh of relief. That was good. Then, he stopped thinking and continued to comprehend the Tao. More than a year later, 3 lines of words appeared in front of Hanju. Detected that you have reached 6,000 years old and your life has taken another step forward. You have the following choices. 1. Immediately enter the calamity and fight for providence and fame. You can obtain a great Tao fragment and a heavenly Tao spirit stone. 2. Avoid the calamity for the time being and cultivate in a low-profile manner. You can obtain a great Tao fragment and a mystical power inheritance. Hanju didn't make a choice immediately this time. He asked silently, I'm not in the calamity. Yet? You are, but you don't fight for providence and fame. You need to let everyone know your true existence. There was no need to consider. Hanju chose option 2. You chose to temporarily avoid the calamity and obtained a great Tao fragment and a mystical power inheritance. Congratulations on obtaining the great Tao mystical power Grand Unity Aspect. Grand Unity Aspect, a mystical power formed by the great Tao. It can condense the Dharma idols of the 3,000 chaotic fiend celestials. Great Tao mystical power. Stunned, Hanju hurriedly inherited this mystical power. An unprecedented memory surged into his mind. Check out LT, SDVL, on NOVL bin. CM The Dharma idols of the 3,000 chaotic fiend celestials were not their bodies, but their Tao. The appearance of the Dharma idols could only be known after Hanju successfully cultivated them. Several days later, Hanju finally digested this huge memory. The first chaotic fiend celestial Dharma idol he cultivated was extremely ferocious. He cultivated step by step according to the mystical power inheritance. However, the Great Tao mystical power was a Great Tao mystical power. Hanju had cultivated for a month but still hadn't condensed his first chaotic fiend celestial Dharma idol. How long would it take to condense all 3,000 chaotic fiend celestial Dharma idols? Hanju had no choice but to give up and continue cultivating. He had to reach the Zenith Heaven realm first. Cars! In the blink of an eye, another 10 years passed. Hanju took out the Book of Misfortune and started cursing Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. Although the Book of Misfortune was already a Zenith Heaven numinous treasure, if he wanted to affect Jade Emperor Zhou Yan, he had to wait for his cultivation level to increase to the Zenith Heaven realm. Hanju cursed as he checked his emails regularly. Your good friend Li Daokong has fused with a mysterious Tao literature. His cultivation has increased greatly. Your good friend Li Daokong has comprehended a heavenly Tao mystical power. He has shocked the world. Your good friend Ji Xianshun was attacked by an immortal emperor. Your good friend Zhou Fan was attacked by your enemy Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. He was severely injured. Your good friend Li Daokong was attacked by your enemy Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. Your good friend Li Daokong was attacked by a mysterious mighty figure, X6. Your good friend Tai Tian has been enlightened by the heavenly Tao and has stepped into the Emperor realm. Your good friend Han Ming obtained a mysterious mighty figure's inheritance. Li Daokong was so crazy. Hanju could imagine the dangerous scene of Li Daokong fighting with Jade Emperor Zhou Yan just by reading the emails. Looking at the emails, only Li Daokong dared to keep fighting Jade Emperor Zhou Yan. After Di La Tian was killed by Jade Emperor Zhou Yan, there was no more news. As expected of the eldest disciple of the human school. Brother Li, don't panic. With my help, you won't be alone, Hanju thought silently and started to increase the curse power. He noticed that Han Ming had obtained the inheritance of a mysterious mighty figure. He didn't plan to do anything. This kid had already reincarnated. What did it have to do with him? The enemy could forget about using Han Ming to threaten him. 5 days later, Hanju began to consume his lifespan. 10 billion years, 20 billion years, 30 billion years, 40 billion years. Hanju stopped cursing as he felt dizzy. He bled from his 7 orifices and was extremely pale. However, his external injuries were superficial and he could recover quickly. I wonder how that fellow is now. Hanju secretly looked forward to it. Then, he put away the Book of Misfortune and released the strange deity from the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus. The strange deity floated in the air and wandered around as if expressing its dissatisfaction. After being with Hanju, its intelligence had been growing. Although they couldn't communicate yet, Hanju could already feel its emotions. Go away, don't disturb me. Hanju waved his hand. After pushing the strange deity away with his dermic powers, he continued to comprehend the great Tao of life and death. The strange deity stared at him and stopped flying. It seemed to be in deep thought. In the dark universe, above the sea of clouds, under an old tree, Jade Emperor Zhou Yan was circulating his energy when his expression suddenly changed. He clearly did not feel good. Damn it! When will he stop? Jade Emperor Zhou Yan was furious. He had fought Li Daokong not long ago. The Dark Forbidden Lord had suddenly cursed him, almost causing him to lose. On average, every 5 years, the Dark Forbidden Lord would curse him once, and each time, he would become more ferocious. Although Jade Emperor Zhou Yan was not afraid of curses, it was really annoying if this continued. He had thought of contacting the Dark Forbidden Lord, but there was no way. Even the Heavenly Emperor couldn't take the initiative to contact him. At this moment, a figure appeared in front of him. His body shone with divine light. He was burly, but he did not reveal his true appearance. Jade Emperor, you're too impudent. You've already displeased some sages, the divine light figure said bluntly. Jade Emperor Zhou Yan didn't even open his eyes as he said, Great Nine Heavens, are you here to stop me? The divine figure called the Great Nine Heavens snorted. If the sect master supports you, I will naturally support you. However, I hope that you won't cause more trouble for the sect master. Sages are unfathomable, and their emotions are even more so. Jade Emperor Zhou Yan opened his eyes and asked, I want to know, which sage is supporting the human race? Great Nine Heavens shook his head and said, we're not qualified to know. Be careful in the future. Before fighting for Providence, don't go against the Heavenly Tao's will. With that, Great Nine Heavens vanished. Jade Emperor Zhou Yan frowned and snorted in his heart. When this calamity ends, I will be the Heavenly Tao's will. Jade Emperor Zhou Yan's hatred towards you increased. Current hatred points, full stars. Han Zhu, who was cultivating, didn't care when he saw this notification. They were already irreconcilable. It had been 4 years since the last curse. In another year, he could mess with Jade Emperor Zhou Yan again. As Han Zhu was thinking, he suddenly felt something on his back. It was the strange deity. Han Zhu was shocked to find that the strange deity was touching his dermic powers. What was he doing?